All right. Hey, 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 everybody. We are live. I am live. It's 3:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Looks like we've got a bunch of people on already. I'm going to give it a few moments so that we can let the audience build. But I was just looking over some of the names, and some of you, of course, I know as patrons and members, and then others I know from commenting, all the time on the videos. So that's great. There's some new names I haven't seen yet. So this is great. So hello to everybody. Happy Thursday, April 2nd. I was going to do this maybe yesterday, and I thought, no, people will think it's like an April Fool's joke, so I didn't want to do it. I said we'll do it today anyway. So yeah, it's an interesting time we're in. I'm just looking at all the names popping on. So that's good. This is good. I don't do many live Q&As for, the general, I guess, public or the regular subscribers, you guys. I normally do them for members and patrons, and I do them every couple weeks in Patreon and on the YouTube membership. But the other night I made a mistake and I posted that link live, and a few other subscribers popped in and we had more people, and it was really cool. So I think I should try to still, try to make an attempt to at least do one live maybe a month if I can. So yeah, I'm just watching people roll in. I see so many great names. We're building a little audience. It's nice. Yeah, very cool. All right, let me make sure. Can everyone see me and hear me well? The connection is good, hopefully. I think it should be. I see people from, I've seen Israel, the UK, all over the world, all over the country. It's great seeing you guys. Denmark, look at that. There you go. Awesome. That's great. So, I have a list. I have a bunch of things I want to talk to you guys about. There's a few things. I really do. We'll see where this goes. If you guys have a lot of questions, but I really wanted to just talk to you guys about some of the things that have been going on, my take on what's happening and what we're going through, a little bit of what's been going on, of course, with the spirits and what I've been hearing. Some of the other pieces of the puzzle I feel like I've put together. Yeah, if I don't see your questions and comments, that's the problem with doing a large live Q&A, because then it's just, there's so many comments. When it's just a few people, like about 30, 40 people, like in my normal lives, I can kind of catch the questions. Yeah, cool. So why haven't I posted lately? The last video I posted was about the coronavirus. It was about what's going on, the pandemic and all that. And that was about, on the 15th, I think I posted that. So, and a few people messaged me, commented saying, hey, where you at? We kind of need some light at this time. We could use a little bit of your word, and I thought, yeah, he's right, or they're right, but at the same time, who am I? And I'm not going to put myself down or build myself up and put it on a pedestal, but it's like, we have a lot of celebrities, of course, coming on and telling us to stay home, and that they're at their home and they're doing fine, and they're singing songs, and that's really cool because they're entertainers. But at the same time, I think the general public at times can say, hey, wait a minute, you guys are pretty well off. You guys are taken care of. We're just here trying to survive during a difficult time. So for me to come on and say, hey, everything's great and everything's fine, is a little, fake. I don't think that, I believe that, but at the same time, I'm here going through, stuff too. We're all going through it. I'm not the only one. Sometimes we can feel like we're the only one, going through something. But right now it's not. It's not just a country or a different country or even a region. It's the whole world is going through this unbelievable experience. So, I've been here. It's been challenging for me. And I'll go through that. I'll talk to you about that. But that's the reason why I haven't just come on and just started spouting a bunch of stuff. If I talk to you guys and I share what I share in the videos, it's from the heart. It's always from the heart. And the other thing is that, being on YouTube, I don't like to consider myself a YouTuber. I don't want to say that. I'm a researcher of afterlife. I'm a spirit communicator. I'm trying to develop my own intuitive abilities and my own, connection to my higher power. So, my videos, I put a lot of work into, after I do a session, it takes me a while to review it. Then I have to put it together, put some music, narration, voiceover stuff, make sure it's all right, as much as I can make it. And then I put it up, and so each video I post, excuse me, is a little bit of it's a piece of art from me. It's the truth of what the spirits are saying, and it's me putting it together, and I put a lot of work into it. So, they're not easy to just kind of do one a week or two a week. It would probably be more helpful, but, for my channel to grow and more people to see it, more views, more subscribers, but I just can't just make that happen. It's not, so anyway, but so the last video, I just want to talk about that for a second. Someone's asking, what software do I use? I still use iMovie. It's a free program. I've used it and it's kept me. I've used a lot of different programs before with making films and short films and other things, but this keeps me from getting too jazzy with my videos. I think that they've been they need to just, it's nice to have a little music or a little, things and graphics, but honestly, it just is good to just put the video together the best way possible. And as easy as possible. So the last video I posted was about the virus. That session was done on the 2nd of March. It was done exactly a month ago. Exactly a month ago, that session was done, and the answers that came through, and the response about humanity dying down south. That some people said they didn't hear that response, and I think I slowed it down a little too much, which can distort it. Normally I don't do that. I don't know why I did it on that. So if you didn't hear that exactly as I tagged it, that was what I believe it was. But I went over that, and I had other people listen to it before I posted it, and they all heard the same thing. You don't hear me. This summer, humanity dies down south. Don't change your plans. God's giving us plenty of light. That's a key phrase, and I'll circle back to that here in a minute. Hey, Connie. Hey, Stephanie. Those are the moderators helping out, and I love you guys. Thank you. That was a crazy response. I put that in the video, and then I did this session, and I asked, and they said, Corona. They said, I asked about the stat about 40 to 70% of the world population getting it. This is what the news is telling us, and they said it's fate. That I was correct. People are going to die still. But it's going to be okay. There was a message of hope still there, that we protect. They were saying that they protect. And so here we are 30 days later, and how accurate was that statement, even from January, about humanity? Now they're saying that there's this crazy, ridiculous hurricane season coming, which would come roughly June, July is when that starts down here and for other regions. That would be very bad if a storm came during the peak of this whole thing that's going on. So it seemed like those responses so far from what they were gathering, what they were saying was true. And Steve Huff was getting responses, and his have been accurate as far as what they were saying. And so they felt the rumbling. The spirits can see the writing on the wall. Can they see the future? That's a good question that someone's asked me before. And I don't believe they can see the future exactly. I think they can see timelines depending on what level they've ascended to. Even God, I don't think, knows the full future. And I say that because he gave us the greatest gift that he's ever given to man. He gave us free will. And because of free will, we still always have a say kind of in what's going to happen to us, right? There's always this part that we have a role in. And so there's different timelines that can be seen, but we don't know exactly which timeline is going to happen. But so that's just something I wanted to share with you. So here we are, now 30 days later, like I said, after those spirits have said, we have a new member, Sonia Rhodes. Welcome. Again, anyone wants to join Patreon or, and the stuff I'm doing there, or you want to join the YouTube membership, please do so. There's a lot of extra things that I share that I'm going to share a little bit with you guys today about what I normally am sharing in the group and stuff. So here I am. I'm on quarantine. I've been sitting here with the family. My daughter, it's like, how has it been? We're home every day. We're home every day, just like most of everyone that is probably following the instructions and the guidelines of what's being given to us. My daughter's being homeschooled now. So, she's got the program from school. We have to set her up. We've set her up with a computer. She's doing that. The businesses, my business is closed. It's been closed, rightfully so, for good measure, but no income there. Another business is hurt. So no income. So half of my income was cut. Thank God for the little bit that I get through here. And Patreon, it's been really helpful. I can't just file unemployment. So, I work for myself, and I have to take care of my children and Nikki and the family. So, it's been difficult to get supplies still. I'm down to 3 rolls of toilet paper now, and I got to figure that out later. I'm a soy milk drinker now, apparently, because, it's hard to still get milk at times. So I've had to adapt. We've all had to adapt. This is not something I'm complaining about, but it's just the way that our life has changed. It's like Pompeii. It changed overnight. It was like, here we are. We all had plans. We all had things we wanted to do. And never, if you asked in January if this would ever happen, all of a sudden, we would have said, no, are you crazy? And so when you hear this end of the world talk from spirits who I'm sure could have taken what's happening as an end of the world kind of situation, no one would have ever thought that. No one would have ever thought that. But, here we are. There's still a lot of people that are not taking this very seriously while people are dying. There's a lot of people dying, and there will be a lot more people that unfortunately will die. So that's how it's been. We also we lost a family pet. I lost my cat. He's been seen in videos. I have 2 of them. I got them the day that I got out of prison. They were born the day I got out of prison, and I got them about a month later. And I've had them 13 years, and they're just my little guys. And the other day I was doing a private session for a client, trying to reach her father, and I could hear something in the other room, and I got up and treat me nice as a new member. Welcome. Thank you. I got up, and he was having a hard time, and he ended up having a heart attack right in front of me. And the hardest part about this, I bawled. I just bawled. The whole family bawled. His brother was crying for him at night. It was really difficult. And I was like, don't be so crazy, man. It is a pet, but this is a child. And I've lost close people to me. I can't believe how painful the death of this animal was for me. And that's a video that I'm going to post for you guys. A lot of people lost animals during this quarantine, which is weird. And a lot of people have asked me about pets, asked me what happens to pets. And so, what was crazy was that when I reviewed this session for this private client, which takes me about 5 days to review a private session when I do it for someone, you can hear the spirits throughout the session. Josh, he's going to die. He's having trouble. Thank you for giving him a good life. But then others were saying things like, You're just going to let him die? You're mean. You're killing him. Help Tigger. Help him. So that was like, oh my, I had to listen to this days later, trying to review it for the session. Some of them, I mean, you can tell that all of them that were speaking were being genuine in the sense that they really loved Tigger and knew him. Like the spirit team knew him. And some thought I wasn't being as attentive to him, or that I was going to miss that he was going to die. And so they were really commenting about it. It was really difficult. I saved some of those clips. Some of them I had to get rid of because I just couldn't deal with it. But I'm going to show you guys in a video about that. Do you think? Okay, hold on. I just don't. I don't. I have. I'm going to take some questions, but you guys. How did you make it through it mentally? That was really difficult. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm still pretty tore up about it. I did a session to try and ask about him, and they said he can hear me. They saw him running around the house or by the house, that he was okay. They said I can pet him still. I asked if he'll be around here, and they said yes, to still learn. So that was really wild. Oh, she's asking Stephanie why I was in prison. I have a crazy past, from I have a difficult past. I have a movie that I made. I made a couple films, full feature films. My film that kind of tells my whole story about it is not for human consumption. So I guess I can just put this in there on not for human consumption. I think the movie. I think it's a long website. You can check it out if you'd like. There's the link. Not for human consumption. The movie.com is my film. You can rent it. You can watch it, and it tells my story. But it's a crazy story, and I never shy away from it. It's part of it. But check it out. So it's okay. But let me just keep going here for a minute and just kind of, I just wanted to touch on some stuff. And then, like I said, I'll take some questions. What can we do after we die and don't get stuck in the afterlife? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about, Lisa. That's a great question, asking about what we can do to not get stuck in the afterlife. Should we be wary of 5G? I knew that question was coming through. I think that there may be there's a lot of things we should be wary of, but I think that you can do the best you can to isolate yourself and try to separate yourself and wear tinfoil and all kinds of things to try to prevent yourself from being affected. But we're here. This is where we live now, and we can't escape a lot of the things. We're powerless over so much. So we just have to kind of do the best we can. Grow within, continue to develop ourselves spiritually, do right by our families, keep up our responsibilities, try to help others when we can. But when you're trying to, go against things that you're almost entirely powerless over, it's really an uphill battle that I don't know, if it's worth fighting. But so. What do I think about this virus? First of all, what I think is going on here is that this is pretty much a manifestation of where we are, in humanity. I know, there's a definite scientific reason for why this happened. But when we look at some of these reasons, we're looking at, animal abuse. There's a lot of animal abuse. There's a lot of, the mistreatment of animals in the farming and all kinds of, slaughterhouses, all kinds of stuff. Look at what happened in China because of these, these wet markets and things like that. So from that comes this virus, and it spreads like wildfire. Okay. And we've abused our environment. We still won't go to clean energy, and I understand the jobs that are tied to that. I don't want to get in politics, but when you think about how we could be still doing better for our, our earth, our mother earth, People say things like, yeah, we have to save the planet. We don't have to save the planet. We have to continue to do our part to maintain a place that's been here before us and will be here after us. It's not ours to just save, but it's ours to take care of on some level. So that's not being done. We're very self-consumed. People in mostly everywhere, a lot of times in the United States as well, there's a lot where people are selfish. We're self-consumed. Whether the virus was created or not, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter because look at the purpose of what's happening. It's a shame, and we don't want this to happen. It's a shame that this is happening, but this is happening, and the world is shut down. It's like a huge timeout, that everyone is getting. It's being forced on, and people are fighting against it. And while they're fighting against it, something that they're powerless over, an unseen force that's shutting down the world like nothing's ever done before. And and I understand there's conspiracy and there's a truth to a lot of conspiracy out there. So I don't shun anything like that, but I try to stay grounded in reality. And the fact is that the earth is getting a breath, whether we like it or not, whether we planned it or not, whether we wanted it or not. The waters are getting a break. The air is getting a break. The wildlife is getting a break. There's resources that aren't being used. And you've heard that, if everyone turned off their lights for an hour every day or something, it would be enough power saved there's ridiculous numbers and stats. And so look at what's happening. This is happening. So what are we going to do with it? People are fighting against it. We are forced to pause. That's right. There's my movie. Stephanie posted the link on Amazon. It's on Amazon. That's what's happening. A huge timeout. There's no distraction. Sports have been taken away. It's like, so people are being forced to stay at home, be with their families, be by themselves. They're being forced to leave certain routines and comfortable things that they had in their life that they just either took for granted or they just leaned on too heavily. And so, there's old ideas that are being lost. We're being reminded of our impermanence while being reminded of our divine permanence. So, our souls are permanent. Our bodies are not. I was reminded of this the other day, just when Tigger died. What a painful experience. And I work with death and people all the time. I'm helping people reach out to loved ones all the time. So, we got people home. So this is something that even as much as I'm reminded of it every day when I do a session for people, and I'm reaching loved ones, losing that person or losing that animal, that pet to me was just a really stark reminder of, holy cow, that's going to happen to me one day as well, which I've said many times and I'm okay with, but ultimately there's a lot of attachment, So, that's what's happening. And, our impermanence reminds us of our spiritual permanence. Some are losing their minds and some are finding their minds, it's pretty wild. Let me just make sure here. Hold on. Got the dog barking. So what are the spirits saying about it? The spirits, what are they saying about it? I haven't heard as much since that session I did a month ago. I've done plenty of private sessions for clients, and it's been pretty amazing. Those results are just unbelievable. They really are. Let's see, on February 26th, doing a session for Connie Tom, I hear her grandmother say something about trying to change the world, and it's a virus. So she's bringing up the virus, and she's been passed for a while now, but she's definitely ascended. She's definitely crossed over into the light. You can tell by some of these interactions and what Connie has as interactions with her grandmother. So she mentions it. I do another session on March 11th And someone's brother that was passed asked, well, when's the corona coming? So, there's a few of these things that are mentioned in a group session I did for my patrons trying to reach their loved ones. The virus went too fast. So they were acknowledging how quickly it was spreading. That was wild. Then let's see. So there wasn't too much about that. About what there was some mentioning, but that was it. And I haven't done a focus session. I did just do a focus session to try to reach out to my guru, Paramahansa Yogananda, and ask for some guidance during this time. So not just a session to ask spirits for random soundbite quotes, to come through, which they gave some great feedback. But I wanted to call on a higher vibrational energy to help see if we can get some clearer answers. So I have that session for you guys that I'm reviewing right now. So I've got the animal cat, my Tigger video. I've got this other session showing some of these clips leading up to where we are now, and then doing that session with Yogananda and hearing some wonderful responses. So that's happening. But he comes through and you can see that I have the night vision camera up, and you can see these bright orbs, one bright orb just go right past me and go right in back through my neck. And then another one says, right before a message comes, he goes, "Here I come, Josh." And this ball of light comes and shoots like right by me and goes right into my back. So two of these bright balls of light shoot into my back. I don't notice, I don't feel. I'm doing the session. And then the responses are about sending love, and it's pretty amazing talking about sending love and helping spread love. And so that's going to lead me to tell you about this really quickly. And we're going to have some time to just chat and talk some questions. But I prepared this to talk to you guys about this, and I wanted to make sure that I really do share what I'm finding, because even throughout this craziness that we're going through, there is this silver lining. There is this, this hope, where there is light, there is hope, and there is. So let me just, I started in September. You guys saw that I took that break. I took that 3-month break. And before I took that break, I was initiated into Kriya Yoga. And it's just the ultimate of meditation, that it's the science of bringing in energy, light energy from God, and revitalizing, myself. It's bringing in prana, life force, life trons, life energy. And it's the source of light that comes from God. Whether you believe in Krishna or Jesus or Allah or Buddha or just a creator, it doesn't matter. Hey, Crystal, it doesn't matter. You can draw on that light, and any one of these wonderful ascended masters can help you with that. I choose Jesus Christ. That's who I choose as my ascended master, my light, my Lord. But anyone that believes in something different is okay, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong. Okay, even Jesus would tell you that. So Yogananda, Yogananda is this amazing man. He died in 1953, but he brought Kriya Yoga to the West, and he is my guru. Well, he died in 53, and I was born in 81. So, but we've had many conversations now, and he's come through the box. He's come through my, intuitive abilities, because I'm a practicing psychic medium. That's what I do. And, I don't claim to be the best, but I do it, and I'm able to get messages, and it's beautiful. And so he's been able to speak to me. And so I'm taking his lessons. So I was initiated into Kriya Yoga at an ashram in Miami, and that was awesome. But I also, because his center is in LA, the Self-Realization Center, and you can order it. It's like $90 for an 18-week course, and these booklets are amazing, and they'll take you through and give you all these amazing pieces of knowledge, and then you can be initiated. And it's just really the science of meditation. It's unbelievable. But anyway, I'll just read you this little clip here, or this little excerpt. because it's very pertinent to what we're going through right now. It says, the teaching presented in the self-realization lessons is a comprehensive system, a method to bring the individual into complete and balanced harmony with the great plan of the universe. There are many forces at work seeking to destroy this balance, to produce disease, fear, poverty, failure, and unhappiness. These forces attack the individual to upset his physical, mental, and spiritual balance. The great secret of mastering these forces has been known for ages by exalted yoga masters and saints, enabling them to live far beyond the usual term of life in perfect youthfulness and body of mind, and in perfect spiritual harmony. The mastery is achieved by the science of controlling life energy, prana. So when you hear these spirits talking about the light, I need the light, I need light, more light, more light. It's not always about crossing over into the light. It's about, we all get light from God. We all get light from God. And we are light. Inside of us is a ball of light, just like as you see on these videos that I've shown you. When we get a light from God, it can come in through our crown chakra. It comes in through the back of our neck, which is why you see some of these balls of light going there. The spinal cord is really the Lord's way. It's the way of the Lord. Is this because it sends out all the light to all of my nervous system, all of our body parts. And this is amazing stuff. And it comes in through the oblongata, the medulla oblongata, which is right in the back. And it's kind of parallel to the third eye. That's all real stuff, without getting into too metaphysical, but that's the deal, Someone asked, is it safe to use spirit box or necrophonic? And I would say to you, only use these things if you are in connection with your higher power and working on it. If you're just kind of floating out there using this stuff, then, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you that, you can't be protected or don't do it. But I would say you need to have a connection with your higher power first before really doing any of this work. Okay. That's my recommendation to anybody. So work on that connection first, and you can be working on it still while you do this work. But I have a strong faith in my higher power, and it's shaken sometimes, but I believe in Jesus. So, and so did Yogananda. He loved Christ. He loved Krishna. He loved all religions. So he was not of one religion. He shares about the science of God, which I think is fantastic, because I'm into science. I love research technology, but I love God. I love my higher power. So there's definitely something there. There's definitely something there. So that's an amazing. Now, I want to talk to you really quickly also about the movie Interstellar. I shared this with my patrons and members the other night. And the movie Interstellar, it's by Christopher Nolan. It's an amazing movie. Matthew McConaughey's in it, Anne Hathaway. And ironically, it's about, everything's been used up in the world. The only thing, the environment has gotten so bad. There's like these major rolling dust storms. And like the end of the world is kind of near. And the only thing they can grow is corn. And that's even dwindling. And so NASA, which kind of got defunct because it didn't, people needed to eat over space exploration. It's kind of a secret program, and they want to send McConaughey up into space, in through a wormhole, to try to find other planets so that we can, cohabitate on a planet, and procreate. I can't even talk. Procreate on another planet. Anyway. It's amazing. And when I first saw it, I was bawling at the end. If you haven't seen it, see the movie. It's absolutely amazing. But in there is a line, and it's one of the absolute best lines there is. And it's really what allows me to do what I do, to do this work, to reach spirits that have been passed for over 30 years and for loved ones, and the messages of positivity and light and love. And so, Anne Hathaway, she's on this spaceship. McConaughey's on the spaceship. They're heading to this planet to go check it out. They're experiencing problems. And, Anne Hathaway says, maybe we've spent too much, or maybe we've spent too long trying to figure out with theory, trying to be too scientific. And McConaughey says, you're a scientist, though. And she goes, yeah, so listen to me. Love isn't something that we invented. It's observable, powerful. It has to mean something. And McConaughey says, yeah, it's got meaning. It's got social utility, bonding, child rearing. That's what love is for. And she says, well, where's the social utility in loving someone that's dead? Why do we love the dead? Very interesting, right? She brings that up. People that have died, she goes, maybe love means more than what we can understand. Maybe it's evidence of a higher realm, a higher dimension that we can't perceive yet. Love is the one, this is the line. This is the line that sums up my work, sums up why I'm able to do what I do. She called it, this is written by Christopher Nolan, but she still delivers this line. Love is the one thing we're capable of perceiving that transcends dimensions of time and space. Let me just repeat that. Love is the one thing we're capable of perceiving that transcends dimensions of time and space. Maybe we should trust that, even if we can't understand it yet. That is really everything. How am I able to connect with someone's mother that passed 30 years ago, and she uses her own voice through a guitar amp and with different sound sources, and she uses her own voice to say, I love and miss you. I'm with you. That is the most amazing thing ever. And I've been doing this 7-8 years now, and I'm still blown away. Still blown away. So I'm going to also just, this is how also my higher power speaks to me. I have to be doing things every day. Every morning I do an hour of Kriya yoga. That's an hour of meditation on a mat, on the floor, in a really poor lotus position because my hips don't bend that way as much anymore. But I have to read my little booklets, my little daily books and things like that. But a lot of times I'm reading something, I'm talking to someone about something, it's very positive, it's beautiful. And then I open up my little book and I look at the day, and the day's message is speaking to me. So today I'm just going to read you these two little passages, and then I'm going to open it up, or I'll take questions. I'll look at all of the, as many comments as I can see, and you guys can ask some just questions. But I wanted to leave a message of hope. That's the point. I asked my higher power, I asked Jesus to help me today to share, the truth of what I'm going through, that it's not great. It's not perfect. It sucks. There's some moments that I'm really upset, and I kind of lose myself at times, I have to get composure, but I go to the core of my belief and of my faith. And I know that I am taken care of. I know that I can lose my business. I can lose my house. I can lose my little friend, my little furry friend, and still be okay. It's not the ultimate reality. So let me just read this to you guys. This is April 2nd. This is for April 2nd. Not what you do so much as what you are. That is the miracle working power. You can be a force for good with the help of God. God is here to help you and to bless you, here to company with you. You can be a worker with God. Changed by God's grace, you shed one garment of the Spirit for a better one. In time, you throw that one aside for yet a finer one. And so from character to character, you are gradually transformed. And that is very true. I am a far cry from the person I was 13 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 2 years ago, as I continue to, and you can see a lot of the progression of where I've come from. This is also another little book that I read. These are just minor little paragraphs, but they help instill that in me, and it kind of reminds me. I need a constant reminder. I've got this built-in forgetter that keeps on making me feel like I'm human and I have to worry about money, and I don't care about this. I continue. I need to make a living. I need to take care of my family still. But I used to be very business orientated. I used to be more consumed with business, and I've over time just started letting go of these things and just doing more of what I love and what I care about, because I can't take any of that stuff with me. So it's about working at helping people and growing spiritually in order for me to take that with me to the other side. That's what building up the bank account is. It's not the actual dividends, the money in the bank account. It's the spiritual bank. This is April 2nd, and this could be just Jesus talking, or God's voice, or your creator. It could be Krishna, whatever you want. I have promised to meet all your needs. I have promised to meet all your needs according to my glorious riches. Your deepest, most constant need is for my peace. I have planted peace in the garden of your heart where I live. But there are weeds growing there too. Pride, worry, selfishness, unbelief. I am the gardener, and I am working to rid your heart of those weeds. I do my work in various ways. When you sit quietly with me, I shine the light of my presence directly into your heart. In this heavenly light, peace grows abundantly and weeds shrivel up. I also send trials into your life. When you trust me in the midst of trouble, peace flourishes and weeds die away. Thank me for troublesome situations. The peace they can produce far outweighs the trials that you endure. And I don't know about you, but I needed to hear that today. So, I mean, this has been very important for me, and I get to share it with you guys, and sharing it with you guys is a beautiful thing. I mostly get to share this stuff in my videos, but it's also wonderful to do this and connect with all of you. So that was really all that I had kind of prepared for you, and I wanted to give you guys a little something, whether you're watching it live or someone's watching this after it was done. We're going to get through this regardless of how many people we lose, and I hope we don't lose too many more, but it looks like we're still going to lose people because of what we're dealing with, and not just because of a virus, because of other situations going on that are kind of indirectly related to that. But we are spirit. We are spirit. We are the light. We are him. We are our creator. And the more that we remind ourselves that, the more we can rise above this and get through it. And, like Buddha says, suffering is due to attachment. So it's because of us being attached to something that it's getting ripped away. Fear is losing something we have or not getting something we want. So, when we come to terms with that and say, I love my children, I love my house, I love my car, I love my job, I love my parents, I love the things, my animals, but nothing is permanent other than the spirit, other than God. That's eternal. That's permanent. All of this is fleeting, and we're being absolutely reminded of that. And so it doesn't have to be the most saddest thing in the world. It doesn't have to be the biggest catastrophe in the world. We can get through this. But I can't be on here every week just touting that. It's got to come from my heart, and this is coming from my heart to you guys, and I hope it's well received. So let's do this, and then I'll start taking questions. I just want to see. I invite Michael, my guides. Just one message. I'm going to see. I probably won't be able to hear it in real time, but let's see if there's anything that they want to say. Based on this energy, the love that we have. What do we really have in this world? Our love of God, our love of others, our experiences, spiritual growth. That's what we have in this world. That's the only thing you can take with you to the next world. To Michael and the guides, I'm here with so many wonderful people. Is there anything that you would like to say?
To Michael and the guys, I'm here with so many wonderful people. Is there anything that you would like to say? To Michael and the guys, I'm here with so many wonderful people. Is there anything that you would like to say?
I thank you for that response. I don't understand it, but I send you love. We send you love, and we thank you for all the work that you guys do. Thank you.
I thank you for the response. I don't understand it, but I send you love. We send you love, and we thank you for all the work that you guys do. Thank you. I thank you for that response. I don't understand it, but I send you love. We send you love, and we thank you for all the work that you guys do. Thank you.
Something to love. Thank you, Michael. So that's cool. They're always here with us, and that's just to show you that they're partaking in this energy exchange, and it's beautiful. Is that Randy? Hey, Randy. So let's talk for a few. I mean, we got about 15 minutes. I was going to do about an hour, and we can talk, and see what else you guys want to ask me. Throw at me what you want. I mean, there's probably a lot of questions, and I'm very sorry, but I try to have at least something prepared to talk to you guys about. Yeah, Michael is a guide of mine. Michael is a guide. There's a spirit family on the other side. There's a team of spirits that are coming and going. Sometimes there's a little bit of a troublemaker once in a while. It's not, I don't consider it always, this demonic crap. I mean, there is stuff out there. I get it. But, for the majority of it, it's always beautiful. There's a wonderful team on the other side that are helping and doing this. Please pay attention to me. All right, Sandra, I can try to pay attention. If let's see, I can't go back up because I'll be gone. Love is right. Love is the key. I agree. Kathy Montalbano, God bless you. Do you test spirits, and if so, how? I don't test spirits. I'm very objective when I'm listening to responses. I trust Jesus. And I call on my light. I call on Jesus. But I get, some that slip through to say something stupid or nasty sometimes. I have my protocol for the most part on what I do. But yeah, your brother Freddie. What about your brother Freddie? Can you speak to someone who died in the 60s? Yes, it does. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it depends on where they've gone if they're willing to come back and speak. I have to visually connect. Intuitively connecting to spirit is what increases the responses through the boxes. Turning on a box and just saying, hey, who's there and all that, that will get you a response or two. I get that. But it is about our connection. Steve talks about that. He is absolutely right. Steve and I have a very similar story or storyline. It's weird. I don't know why. I don't know how or why. A lot of times when I'm talking or I'm going through something, I talk to him. He's going through the same thing. When he's having amazing sessions, I'm having them. When I'm getting a little bit of a quiet time, he's having that. Very strange. But yeah, we can talk to spirits throughout any different time. I'm lost without my best friend. My life. If anyone, is looking to reach someone, okay, I get requests all the time, and I wish I could help each and every one of you reach your loved one. I really do. I've taken pro bono cases and done that many times, and unfortunately, I can't even keep up with the people that are trying to even book a regular paid session, which is very modestly priced. I mean, it's like $150. And I put so much work into it. It's ridiculous. But, and that helps take care of my family. That's when but you got to try to join Patreon or check out my site. And, the results are normally amazing. I can't guarantee anything, but, I do my best, and the spirits really deliver. They bring forth. Through that session I did when my cat was dying, I'm still trying to reach someone, and I didn't even know my cat was dying, and they're commenting on that, and they're still bringing forth the woman's father and her child. It was really wild. Who's the oldest spirit you've come across? I don't know. I've heard spirits talking like they're from the 1700s and all that. Yet, and then like Yogananda, I mean, he was in the, late 1800s, but I'm sure I've talked to older spirits. Do ghost apps work? They do. It depends. I mean, I don't know what's in some of them. I use a couple of ones that I like, but they're just really sound sources. If you really want to learn ITC, I wouldn't start with apps or mess around with apps. I mean, they're not bad. Some of them are made very well. I just don't know all of the ones that people use. Some of them are not made very well. Some of them are loaded with little responses. They can give you a false positive. I like radio. I like using my own sound source, which I do a lot of times. Steve is doing now, using his own sound source, which is great, You miss him. Yeah, I understand. I understand, and I wish there was a better way. I can only do about one box session a week, and I can do about 2 readings a week, I mean, I've had requests for more, and I can't. I got to book them out once a week because I can't burn myself out. I've done that before. Josh, Steve here in the UK, have you felt a change recently? I felt like a shift. Oh, there's a shift happening. It's happening whether people want it or not. I feel a shift. I felt some stuff personally going on, globally, collectively, spiritually. I know Steve has shared some very powerful things that he's experiencing. Don't have to apologize, Josh. We love you. Don't always need to prepare a speech. So yeah, we love you. Oh no, thank you. Thank you for saying that. No, I didn't have to prepare. I didn't have to, but I wanted to share some things that I've been sharing with the patrons and the members. I think that was a good thing to do. Let's see. Hold on. When will you do a session with Chester Bennington? I want to, but I just haven't had. I mean, it takes me so long to review this stuff. I want to do it. I'm not saying no. I would like to, but I haven't been able to do it yet. Do the spirits know what the hum is? It was a global thing, sounded like trumpets in the sky. Yeah, I remember that. I think I asked them that when I asked a channeler about that. I asked Connie, the medium I used to see a lot. I still talk to her. She told me from her channeling that the earth was opening up. It was in so much pain and contained fear and anger and nasty energy that it literally had cracks. Certain spots were opening up, letting out these pressured sounds from the earth. It was like literally like the earth was like crying or screaming. That's what I got from her. Start with Patreon, build a connection with your past loved one. Many of us have connected that way. Right. So people that didn't want to right away get a private session with their loved one, they started with, $10 a month on Patreon asking. Most people that are brand new get a response right away. And then over time, sometimes, the responses may drop off a little bit. But then someone might say, okay, you know what, I'm ready to get a private session, and they do. I've been using Steve's portal. It's amazing. It's great. Did you finish your book? Where can I get one? I have not. I'm halfway through it still. I'm like, oh, this is the greatest time. I'm going to write my book right now. It's like, I'm trying to find balance just while being at home. So it is coming. I am working on it. It's a priority, but there's been some other priorities that have been going on for the last month that's really kept me from just keep on going, keep on writing. So I write and then I stop for a couple of days and I write again. So it's coming. Josh, do you know Sonia Rinaldi? I do not. Dream about my brother all the time. He talks to me, but I don't remember what he says. Yeah, I hear you. I understand that because you get a lot of visits and dreams. You should try to check it out on Patreon. Just check it out for a month or so. It's 2 cups of coffee or whatever the price of it. It's not that, just to see if it's something that you would like. Can you tell me how to hear my brother that has passed? I mean, yeah, it's like I said, trying some ITC stuff, trying to get a little radio. You can get a handheld radio. Can't reach it. You can get a little handheld radio with a tuner and just kind of, record for 5 minutes and just move the tuner across the stations and say, hey, Brother, are you there? And if you get you may get a yes, I'm here, a quick thing. You have to go back and listen. Other than that, tuning in intuitively is a great way. Going to someone trusted that is some other people have given you a review of that person, that psychic or medium. That's okay. Do aliens die? Hold on, I want to see. Do aliens die and go into the spirit realm? Everything is connected. Everything is connected. So it's not like aliens are separate and spirits are separate and Bigfoot's separate and all that. Everything has some kind of connection. God is either everything or he's nothing. And so it is connected. So they have their own, they have a longer life expectancy if they're an advanced civilization, type 3 civilization, 4, whatever. They've intergalactic space travel. We haven't even come to that. We're like encroaching. I mean, we're like a type 2 civilization. All right. Bible about the 8 trumpets. Blood goes into the sea. Have a look. I've heard of that. Right? Yeah, the trumpets. That you notice the sunlight has changed. Okay, that's interesting. What do we got? Okay, we already answered that. Let's see. Are there dinosaurs on the other side? It's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. Is it possible for spirits to physically interact with you? They do. Physically, in a way that sometimes I may feel it, sometimes I won't, but you will see in my videos balls of light that are interacting with me, going into my body. They've moved into my elbows. That's a point of entry somehow. They're trying to get to the spine to interact with me, my inner self. So it's not possession or whatever. I have protection. They call this a gate. The medulla oblongata is a form of a gate. And you'll hear the spirits talking about the gate's open, the gate's closed. Sometimes my gate's open, sometimes it's closed. So, I mean, the terminology that they're using are found in amazing books that, amazing. This is another book you guys should check out. He wrote this about Jesus, the Yoga of Jesus, which is just an amazing, very powerful book, very scientific and very real about Jesus. It's pretty wild, pretty great stuff. All right, let's see. I've lost both of my daughters. I miss them terribly. Can you please tell them I love and miss them? You can tell them, Val. I'm so sorry for your loss. I can't even imagine. I'm not even going to pretend I can imagine. I've done a lot of sessions for people that have lost children, but I tell people, I don't have to tell you. I don't have the connection to them. You do, and they can hear you. It's just that you're not hearing them, and that, of course. And believe me, I mean, I've lost people, but I can't even fathom a child. I have thought about it just on a fraction of with my own children. And I mean, who knows what would happen to me? I don't know. There's people a lot stronger than me. I'll tell you that. Have made it through some really difficult, losing 2 children. I can't even, so my heart goes out to you, but they can hear you. I promise you that. You ever started saying something and the spirits finish your sentences? Yep, that's happened. They've said it before me. Who's that, Tony? Hey, Tony. Tony's doing some really great sessions, and he's gotten some of these same answers and responses I've gotten about what we're going through. Good guy right there, him and Melanie. Let's see. Wait a minute. Have you ever started saying, okay, yeah, I just read that. Josh, why do the dead change their looks, not looking sickly anymore when they pass? They go back to a point of when they feel the most comfortable. There's a lot of human stuff on the other side. There's a lot of human factors still. I'm thinking the higher you go up, you kind of lose some of that. Guruji Paramahansa talks about when his guru visited him from the dead, from the beyond. And he talks about that we have 3 bodies, okay? We have a causal, C-A-U-S-A-L, causal body, which is the ball of light, a spark of light that comes from the Creator. It is our true essence, and that is inside of us. And over that is an astral body, which some would consider like an aura, but it is in the shape of a body. And it can take on different shapes, or different forms, older, younger, whatever. But it is reminiscent of us. And so I think that's still how our voices are still heard on the other side some way. It's crazy. But so there's the causal body, and that's inside of the physical body that we're in here. So when the physical body dies, we're left with the astral body, and inside of it is the causal body. And eventually the astral body dies. There's a death of the astral body, but it isn't as painful as it is for us here in the physical form of loss. I mean, we're moving up when that's happening. So that's what I believe, and I've gotten evidence of that through my research. Hold on, who's commenting here? Let's see. New member Joanne Koppel. Welcome. What does it mean to constantly see synchronicities? It means your guides or your spirit team is talking to you. You're seeing 111, you're seeing 222, you're seeing a certain number, or some song comes on. They're talking to you. They're trying to get your attention. So pay attention. What do you think of this being a prison planet? It's not a prison planet. It's a planet for us to work out what we need to. It's not our ultimate reality. We're not going to be here for that long. We may end up opting to come back to go through some more stuff, but this is where we can work this stuff out. This is how we can get to really express love in a physical form, and to experience loss and feeling and real emotion, and work through that to still enjoy some of the beauties of this world, but to not get caught up in it, in the five senses. Getting caught up in the five senses, too much sight, too much taste, too much touch, too much smell, too much hearing. We're not going within, we're going without too much. We need to go within more. That's what meditation does. If you're not practicing meditation, it's like you're not drinking water. That's how important it is, and we're not taught that. I wish we were taught that early on, because there would be a lot less crap going on if people were taught early on to meditate properly. Hold on. What is it big coming, bad or good? It's always good. Good is always coming from the bad, no matter what it is. Anything I've ever had bad happen to me, good has happened because of it on some level. And if you haven't seen the good yet, then it's not the end with it. There's a saying, in the end it'll be okay. If it ain't okay, then it ain't the end. And that's really the right statement. It's a simple one, but it's very true. What does the Spirit say about Jesus? Is he God? Yes, they love him. They love him. They know he's the light. They know he's the deal. Even if they don't accept him as God, as a manifestation and a representation of God, they still know he's a benevolent, beautiful being, ascended master. If he's nothing more than that to you, that's okay. He doesn't have to be God to you. He doesn't care. He just wants you to live with love and talk to him or your connection of your higher power. All right, hold on. Pray for the earth, see the white light cover. That's right, Tina. Here to make us all get back to the spiritual side. Amen. That's true, Kiwi. Love that name. I see sparkles in the air and energy waves moving them. Are these angels? Yes, you're seeing some type of anomaly, go with it. I have a lot of doubts. I doubt a lot of the things I get sometimes. And because of it, it hurts my ability. I could be a lot better intuitive, a lot better connected if I trusted more. And they're always telling me, focus, trust, believe, Josh, they say it. Thank your parents from me. I'm going to read your book. Oh, thank you, Yolanda. Okay, hold on. How do you meditate, Josh? So meditation is very simple, but it's simple. It's just not easy always. To quiet the mind. The mind is going. We could think about that we're in the clouds and there's clouds, or we're in the sky and clouds are going by us. These are our thoughts and they're going right by. We want to drop down and just watch the thoughts, and that happens by closing our eyes. Some use a guided meditation on YouTube. You can hear like a 20-minute guided meditation, someone's voice or playing some music, but they talk about using a mantra. We'll use wusa for just argument's sake, as an example. And so in your mind, you're trying to look upwards through your third eye. So you kind of look up and in. You try to hold that. As you relax, you'll find your eyes tend to drop again. Try to lift them back up, but just let them be normal at first, and you start saying a mantra. You can look up any mantra online, but in your mind, it's like Woosah, woosah. You can time it with your breath. In woo, out saw is a good one. And eventually you'll slip away. You won't go to sleep, but you'll slip away. And you'll kind of come to, and you're not saying the mantra anymore. You're going, where did I just go? You went within, and your soul got this connection with God. And you kind of, it's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. I would try it. You're supposed to do it 15 minutes twice a day. You can do it 5 minutes twice a day to start. Just try it. You might find your mind tending to, wanting to wander. You just bring it back to your mantra. The mantra is kind of like a ball for your mind to play with. It's kind of like you're giving your mind the ball, like a ball to play with, while you can go off here and not be disturbed by it. So that's the premise of it. But really, it's very important. Could you please do a live spirit box next time? Yeah, I don't know if I like doing those as much. I mean, I've done them many times. It's just that no one can hear anything, and then you guys think you hear something. It really is in the review is where I get these responses, where I hear the answers. Meditation is so helpful in coping with it. Absolutely, even for medical reasons. And it brings in light. And light does kill things. Like UV light is a natural, sterilizer. It's like it does bring in actual light. I know that sounds weird, but it does. H sound, M sound creates a mantra, right? Yep. Okay, hold on. Let me keep going. Just checking out. Thank you, Josh. I'm going to do meditation for my anxiety. Oh, please do. Let me know how it turns out. Just comment on a video. I was buffering. Hopefully I'm not. Hey, Sarah Ortega's here. Very cool. We asked Michael about the Urantia book, I think is what you're saying. Will you ask Michael about the Urantia book? I will have to. I'll try to. Okay. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure I missed a lot, but so this was great. This is wonderful. I just looked it up. The trumpets mean God, Jesus was coming, and everything would be peaceful again. Now, see, that I like. I don't think it's about the end of the world. And I mean, I'm sure there's a battle. I'm sure there's things going on out there that we just don't know. And I don't even know if it's any of our business. Like some things are, and it's our job to seek God, seek our higher power, our connection. But, there's a lot of things above our pay grade for now. And it's important that we just focus on ourselves and helping others where we can, but trying to continue to shed old versions of ourselves and become a new version of ourselves all the time. I think that's really important. Explain what mantra is. A mantra is a word that it's a word or phrase used to be recited over and over again in our minds as we're meditating, to give us a moment of peace without having to think about everything. So like I said, it's kind of like a distraction for our mind so that we can kind of blank out and enjoy that peace. Thank you for your time. What kind of memberships do you prefer, YouTube or Patreon? I'm thinking about you get good rewards with both. I mean, it's $5 for YouTube, and so you get bonus material, bonus videos, couple of lives that I do. But Patreon, you have more of an option to communicate with me and message with other members. So I would always recommend checking out Patreon first, but YouTube membership has been growing and it's been cool. So, it is there, and I do see the comments. It's just so Patreon maybe. Yeah. Do you think souls enter their body when they're first conceived? I heard it was like 9 weeks or something. I don't know how true that is, but at some point, yes. And he even talks about it in one of his books, The Guru. But yeah, a spark of light comes down, just like you kind of see probably in some of my videos with some. Wait till you see these balls of light in the Yogananda session I just did. I mean, this is some of the brightest ones I've ever seen. I mean, I'm assuming he even says, or a voice says, "Here I come, Josh," and then a second later, this ball of light comes and goes right into my spine. It's pretty amazing. All right. Have you ever tried the oneness blessing with Sri Bhagavan? I have not. Can you pray before we go? I will say a prayer for with all of us. Absolutely, Lonnie. Love you, Lonnie. Very interested in meditating. I was watching one of your videos on the subject. Yeah, I do an intuitive class as well on Patreon. It's $25 a month, and it's pretty amazing. You know, we do some pretty awesome stuff in there, learning how to ground and run energy without you having to really learn Kriya Yoga like I did. We'll do whatever I need to. Okay, so you're talking about something. All right, my son called and I missed it. Oh, well, just go back and watch. I mean, definitely you'll get a lot. Are there any special equipment used for spirit interaction? Just what I'm using. Everyone, Josh is doing his best to answer. Yep, I'm trying. This is why it's tough. I knew that, you know, with almost 200 people on, it's going to be hard to answer. Do you think our souls enter our body? Okay, I already did that. I already said that. So I'm going back. I did the special equipment. Okay, I think I'm caught up here for the most part. Before we come into the world, do we write our destiny? No, that's the thing. Well, you do have a choice in what you're going into, parents, kind of what you're going to be dealing with. Okay. But you, you know, coming back here is because we still have some unfinished business, some, you know, desires that were unfulfilled when we left here. We want to still fulfill them, or there's still some karma that we want to work out. They say it takes a person that's not paying attention to anything, just living their life, not being a bad person, but not focusing on the spiritual side of anything, 1,000,000 years to evolve to that self-realization. And they say that you knock off like 1,000 years for every time you do Kriya Yoga or something similar to Kriya Yoga. So, you know, they say it takes about 500 years before someone reincarnates. Normally, unless there's some real serious pressing business that needs to happen. And we've heard cases of that, but that in between lives, they've said about 500 years, whatever that means in human years, I don't know. Yeah, there is eating and sleeping on the other side, John and Darlene. I just want to say hi to you guys. Love you guys. They speak about eating and sleeping. Is it safe to speak to spirits in my home? People say evil may come in. Evil may be there already on its own. I don't know if you talking to your guides is going to do that. If they see there's more tension in that, they someone may roll in. But this is why I say it's more important to be in connection with your higher power as opposed to just trying to talk to spirits. Spirits are wonderful because they're us. But think about if you went out in the street and just started asking random people questions. If you're in your home, someone may be there that's been there a while. Someone may, come in that's not supposed to be there. You can address that. Can you talk about sacred contracts? I mean, there are soul contracts that are made. I'm sure I had a job that I decided to come back and do, or I was asked to do, or something. I mean, clearly I had other plans. I was to be a filmmaker and a high-powered businessman, which I've done all of that stuff already, and I've made millions of dollars in one area of my life at one point, and it was awesome. And I'm grateful that I've done all the things I've done. But here I am, doing what I love, and not making much for it, but that's okay, because I am happier and more fulfilled and helping deliver messages from loved ones, people that are in severe pain, missing their loved ones. If I'm able to do this and help Christ in some way, then that's fantastic. So I believe that's part of my contract, and I think we all have something we're supposed to be doing. All right, I'm just going to keep going here if I can, just another few minutes and keep answering questions. I love doing that. Again, much appreciated. What is your opinion on spirits bullying my cat? It happens. Um, the dog gets kicked by one specific spirit that still thinks they own this house at times. It's ridiculous. There's all kinds of things. I mean, we can just become, we're powerless over some things, and there's some things that we have a say and an ability to kind of make an effect in. Um, Trying to stay as positive you can, playing classical music, Indian classical music, burning, incense, Palo Santo sage, bringing in fresh flowers, reading little daily meditationals. These are things that help lighten the atmosphere and allow light to come into it, believe it or not. Why is it possible that they don't like cats? Cats can see them. Cats are protectors, you know. I'll tell you, these spirits love Tigger. They were pissed I was still sitting here doing a session when I didn't understand fully what was going on. They were like, poor, they really, thank you, Josh. God bless you. Absolutely. God bless you. Hold on. Let me see. I speak to this. Okay. Thank you, Kathy. Being Christ-like is to be of service to others. It's greatly rewarding. It's definitely your calling, Josh. Thank you. Thank you, Lonnie. You have strange people and spirits. Yeah, we do. There's strange people, strange spirits, right? Yeah, we try not to speak of them. We don't want to give anything energy if we don't have to, but I address it when I have to. I mean, I had that one guy come into I was just mentioning, came into the picture during a group session, and I had to do something about it. But I mean, not until the day I'm on the other side. I'm trying to treat it all like with love. It's not always my go-to reaction. I'm not some, like I'm a human being and I get angry still sometimes, and I have my temper. I'm Italian. I still have these, like in this life, this is the character. Like this is what I'm still dealing with. I'm trying to shed that and become, again, my true self here in this place before having to go to the other side, Okay. All right. Let's see. Hold on. I've been with you since the day one with Steve. Love you, brother. Love you too, George. Thank you, man. Uh, yeah, New York, going through it. We're all gonna go through it on some level, but New York, man, really. They don't really know the future. I was sharing that earlier, St. Augie. They can see timelines, I think, but we still have free will. So I did answer about 5G that, I don't think it's probably the best for us, but what are you going to do? You're not going to shut it down, and you can go crazy trying to prevent yourself from being affected by it. How do you project white light? You envision white light, you call on white light, and you actually envision white light. You can even sit outside and envision the sun hitting you as white light, but see it in your mind. The longer you hold the focus, the longer you do that, it becomes stronger. Um, all right. Well, I mean, like I said, I can keep sitting here talking. It's wonderful. Um, you guys are all great. Do you know if the spirits go to purgatory first, then to heaven? It's not all purgatory. No. Yogananda says you don't just die no matter what, live the way you want, die, and then you're just off to heaven or whatever. But you are the same as you are in this life, in the afterlife, until you kind of have evolved. So do the work now. He says, do the work now. So all right, I'm going to say a little prayer with everyone. I'm just going to ask you guys, if you wish, anyone that wishes to join me. If not, if it offends someone, then go ahead, click off. But I'm just going to ask now that first, I want to thank my higher power, Jesus Christ, and all the angels, the saints, the gurus, the ones that help. But I thank Jesus ultimately for allowing this connection with all of you, to be able to share this work and to show people that we do live on, that the spirit lives on, and that we can have a wonderful relationship with you our higher power. We ask for healing for this world. We ask for spiritual healing for all people that are trying to ascend and evolve, trying to grow. Anyone that feels stuck, please help them, Father, and allow people that are physically sick, to also receive some type of healing. The ones that do have to pass, allow them to cross into your light as quickly as they can, and as painless as possible. We thank you, and that's it. I'm just so grateful. We'll make it through this, and we know with your strength we can do that. So, in your name, in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, thank you. All right. Well, this was cool. This was great. I'll try to do this again soon. I do have some videos that will be coming, but I can't rush them, so they will come when they come. But they will come soon. I love you all. Thank you, and yeah, until next time.